Hello world, Shelly here, and today it is day 4 of Foundation Fest, where if I can stop sneezing long enough, we will review another foundation. I'll do a wear test, wear it all day, and we will see how it works out. And today, I am going to check out the Tarte Double Duty Beauty Empowered Gel Hybrid Foundation. Let me make sure I got all the words. Okay, it's hybrid gel. Whatevs, I got them all in there. Pretty, 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 shiny. This product comes in a box and it retails for $39, but if you are watching this during the September 2017 Ulta 21 Days of Beauty sale, it is a hot buy, which means you can pick it up all the way throughout the sale, so September 3rd to 23rd, and during the sale it is $27, so nice little discount there. I have it in the shade Porcelain, and it has a little doodad on top. Woo! Here's the shade we're talking. On Ulta's website, with just over 1,000 reviews, this foundation gets a rating of 3.9 out of 5 stars. It has 18 shades available, and let's take a look at some of the claims. Smooth skin is in with this radiant full coverage foundation with skin-loving ingredients wrapped in a luxurious creamy gel. This unique oil-free blend of smoothing, plumping, and pore refining ingredients help brighten skin while moisturizing and blurring the look of fine lines and pores. That's everything I want in life. The cooling, hypoallergenic gel feels like a drink of water for your skin. Let's be dramatic. And while masking any redness, dark spots, and acne and uneven skin tone for 12-hour wear across all skin types. It's available in a range of shades, blah, 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 rose scent, radiant finish. There's some sciencey looking words here. Biopolymer filling spheres that help smooth surface imperfections while promoting water retention and hydration. Hyaluronic acid, cha-ching. Barley extract, sounds like beer. Vitamin C, antioxidant-free radical fighter that helps prevent premature signs of aging and brighten skin. These all sound wonderful. So, let's do some swatches. First off, today's foundation, the Tarte Empowered Hybrid Gel Foundation in the shade Porcelain. Second is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place in 1C1 Cool Bone. Third up, I've got the Bare Minerals Bare Pro in the shade Aspen. Fourth is Too Faced Born This Way in the shade Snow. Fifth up, I've got the Smashbox Studio Skin 15-Hour Hydrating Foundation in the shade 1.0. And last, we've got the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Lines in shade Fair. So, I, as usual, am going to go in with a sponge on one side. This is my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. I've got a brush for the other side. This is the Artis Oval 7. I have already cleansed, moisturized, sunscreened my face, and I have primed with the Urban Decay Urban Defense Primer. This is an SPF 30. Never rely on makeup for your sole source of SPF, but it's never a bad thing to have a little extra. They do sell a specific brush for this foundation and a spatula to get it out of the little jar here. Even with a spatula, I like that a spatula will prevent you from dipping your fingers inside, and that is cleaner. You're not going to get germs and yuck into your foundation. However, this is going to be messy no matter what way you slice it, so I'm not a huge fan of this packaging. Also, having no pump, it makes it a little harder to measure out how much product you're using so that you can be consistent on a day-to-day basis if you find exactly how much product works for your skin. So, I'm just going to take some off this little lid here. Now, I picked this up at the Ulta store. Several of you guys mentioned when I put this in my Ulta recommendations for the 21 Days of Beauty that you wanted to see this foundation. So I went out on my lunch break and I picked it up that day just to make sure I could get it into this Foundation Fest. And I'm glad that I did go to the store to get it because I was originally going to get shade Fair Light Neutral. And when I swatched it in the store, that was way too dark for me. Porcelain on the website looked like it was going to be way too light, and this is Porcelain, but I don't think it will be. I think we're going to be all right. So, let's do this. Remember, we are looking for full coverage here, and I would say right off the bat, we are getting pretty light coverage with the sponge. It is blending out easily and quite beautifully, actually. This looks really nice on the skin. It's not a dewy finish and it's not a matte finish. It's a nice natural satin, I would say. So we've canceled out some redness there. I can still see all my sunspots and freckles poking through here, so I think we're pretty light right now. Let's try the brush. Coverage seems about the same with the brush. I think both sides look really nice. It does, I think, have a smoothing effect on the texture of my cheeks especially. It's doing a little bit of blurring of pores. I can still see them around my mouth at the sides of my chin, so that is happening. But let's go in with a second coat to see if this is buildable, because they did say full coverage, so I'm looking for full coverage. Foundation does seem to build up really nicely. I don't think at 2 layers I'm at full coverage just yet. I would say I'm at about medium coverage, but it does look quite pretty. There is a nice smoothing effect going on. I think it's a slightly dewy finish. It feels really nice on the skin. It's still slightly tacky. I think I'm getting a little bit of blurring of pores, a nice bit of blurring texture, and it does not appear to be settling into fine lines just yet. Maybe I see the slight beginnings of it in the lines on my forehead, but that might be tappable. We might be able to get rid of that. It is 10:01 a.m. I'm going to go put the rest of my face in. I'll be right back. Okay, guys, I am a little bit sad to report that we're going downhill a little bit here. This foundation has been settling into every line, every chance it gets. I've been tapping them out, but I think the problem is that it's not setting down. I did set it with the Laura Geller Balance and Brighten Foundation powder, and every time I touch my face, the product is moving. So even when I did my eyeliner, which is like the last thing I do, when I was done, I could see where I was resting my hand on my face. And that's how I do my makeup every single day. So every single foundation I've ever worn has me resting my hand on my face at the very end when I'm doing my liner, and it usually does not cause a problem. So it doesn't feel tacky exactly, but I can still tell that it's not firmly set onto my skin. So that could be a problem as we go forward. I had a little bit of trouble blending out my concealer. Today I'm wearing the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Vanilla, and you can kind of see where it didn't want to blend down. Powder's blended out just fine. In terms of my blush, my bronzer, I've got the L'Oreal Glam Bronze and Physicians Formula Butter Blush in Natural Glow, but I'm having a little trouble. It's clinging a little bit to my dry patches around my nose, and like it's even settling into the little wrinkles that aren't yet wrinkles around my corners of my mouth. So I'm having some trouble. It's a little bit difficult. It's kind of a problem child. Where it looks good, it looks beautiful. But where it's being troublesome, it's being troublesome. So we may have a problem child on our hands. I'm going to check back in a few hours with a daylight check-in. You can see how the color match goes in daylight, but I think overall, I think it's a really good color match for me. And then I'll be back at the end of the night to see how it wore all day. So hang in there, stick around. I'll be right back. Hey guys, daylight check-in here. It is about 2:45, so we're just past the 4-hour mark with the foundation. And let me get you guys a little closer. Everything looks pretty good so far. I think it is a good color match for me. How did I get so pale in the last few days? Like, I feel like any color I might have had, poof, gone. But yeah, there we go. Color's okay. Everything feels okay. It has still that sort of, not sticky, it's not quite sticky, but it still has that sensation of not being quite dried down. I had a conversation on my cell phone a little while ago and totally transferred all over the phone. Most foundations do a little bit, but I mean this was, so that's where we're at the 4-hour mark. I will be back this evening to check in. Why am I turning my head? I don't know, but I'll be back tonight. It is 7:47 p.m. and that puts us at approaching the 9.5-hour mark with this foundation. So how did it do? Let's take a look. I would say Right now, I'm getting pretty severe breakdown around my nose. It is wearing off around my nose. I'm starting to get polka dot pores. It's breaking down on my chin as well. I think from nose up, everything looks decent. It's starting to look a little cakey on my forehead. I feel like it's close to starting to breaking down. I think a lot of the magical texture blurring powers have subsided. I'm starting to feel like I can see a little bit more texture on my cheeks, and it's kind of accentuating lines, like especially around like where my crow's feet are, because those lines really aren't very deep and they're pretty minimal, but I can see a lot of them right now, and that's mildly disconcerting. In terms of settling into lines, it did not settle any more into my forehead lines, but it did settle just a little bit into my smile lines and into the lines underneath my chin. So it's not a settle-free type of a formula. It is pretty comfortable in terms of hydration. I do feel like my skin feels pretty well hydrated. It does not feel dried out at all. I don't feel itchy. I don't feel dry. I might even feel as good and hydrated as I did this morning. So I think the claims they make about hydration are probably pretty true. So if you have dry skin, at least it's a hydrating formula. It's a comfortable formula in that regard. It did remain sort of, tacky's not the right word, sticky's not the right word. Those are too strong of words. But, it wasn't to the point where my hair would stick to my face. But I do have the occasional sensation that I've got fuzzy stuck on my face, and most of the time there was. So it is just a little bit hard to set down. And in that way, like the end of the evening, I started sneezing again because my allergy medicine's wearing off. And every time I touched my nose, I thought, oh no, it's going to move around. It's going to move around. And it probably did a little bit. So what grade would I give this foundation based on how it performed today, specifically on my skin? I'm going to give it the benefit of the doubt with a B- because I feel like it does have potential. It's one of those foundations that I think is just going to be, like I said, kind of a problem child. You're going to have to find the right primer to work with it, the right setting powder, and I feel like once I get that chemistry all together, it's going to be happy. I don't think it was happy with this powder foundation as a setting powder. I used the Laura Geller Baked Balance and Brighten. I don't think it liked to play nice with this concealer, the NARS Radiant Creamy. So I think it's just going to be a matter of finding the right mix of products to use with it, because I think it's a very comfortable foundation. I can see the potential where it looks good. It looks really good. So I think if I can figure out those problem areas, we will have a really good foundation on our hands. But if I can't figure the magic formula out, then I would not call it a B-. I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt, and we're going to say B- for right now. I'm going to keep at it and see if I can figure this one out. I will keep you guys posted. If you would like to see more foundation reviews, please give me a thumbs up down below. Leave me suggestions of foundations you would like to see down in the comments, and on my channel page you can always use the search box to search whichever foundation you're looking for to see if I've done a review of it in the past. I've got over 40 foundations reviewed at this point. So that wraps up day 4. We've got one more day left of Foundation Fest. 5 days in a row of foundation reviews. Thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. I appreciate it, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.